This is KGW News at noon.
After a strict process, the FDA has reaffirmed its findings that the Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine is safe and effective, and the FDA has given its full and final approval. So let me say this loudly and clearly. If you're one of the millions of Americans who said that they will not get the shot until it has full and final approval of the FDA, it has now happened. The moment you've been waiting for is here. It's time for you to go get your vaccination and get it today.
New this noon, the FDA has fully approved Pfizer's COVID-19 vaccine. That makes it the nation's first COVID shot authorized for more than just emergency use. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us. I'm Brenda Braxton. The FDA says the vaccine will now be marketed under the name Comirnaty. It's approved for anyone 16 and up. Health officials say this should lead to more folks rolling up their sleeves and getting vaccinated. It could also lead to more businesses and schools mandating vaccines. The Pfizer shot will still be available under emergency use authorization for kids between 12 and 15 and as a third dose booster for the immunocompromised. Also starting today, Washington is requiring masks statewide in all indoor public spaces for everyone over 5 years old. That includes people who are vaccinated. Some restaurant owners who just reopened say they're frustrated about having to take a step backwards. But the ones we talk to say they'll comply with these new rules.
Nobody wants to do it. Customers don't want to wear them. We working in restaurants, we don't want to wear them. It's uncomfortable for everybody. So, but it's something we have to do.
The Washington governor's office says it's working with its state partners to reestablish an enforcement system. Washington has imposed some of the strictest vaccine mandates in the entire country. Governor Inslee announced all state employees, healthcare workers, K through 12 and higher education employees, and child care providers must get fully vaccinated or risk losing their jobs. So far, Washington does not allow testing as an alternative because of the cost. There are exemptions, though, for religious and medical reasons. Now let's talk about what's happening in Oregon. Governor Kate Brown announcing that healthcare workers have to be fully vaccinated against COVID or they will lose their jobs. She also announced the mandate for K through 12 school employees and volunteers, but they can apply for medical or religious waivers and submit to testing. October 18th is the deadline for all affected workers to be fully vaccinated. Multnomah County also said its employees need to get a COVID shot, but it didn't give a deadline. Turning now to the political turmoil in Afghanistan. As citizens there flee the Taliban, the question remains, where will these people end up? The Northwest has a long history of refugees resettling here, and as Art Edwards tells us, Oregonians say they're preparing to help.
The images from Afghanistan are startling. People forced to flee after the Taliban takeover of their country.
It's just heartbreaking what's going on in Afghanistan. It's difficult to comprehend. It's just sad.
Oregon State Senator Casey Jama and State Representative Con Pham wrote a letter this week to Governor Kate Brown urging her to offer Oregon as a safe haven for Afghan refugees. The governor responded by saying in part, Oregon will continue to be a welcoming and inclusive place for all who call our state home, including and especially our immigrant and refugee communities. Thousands of refugees from across the world already call Oregon home. The nonprofit Ecumenical Ministries of Oregon is one of the aid groups preparing for a large number of people resettling here.
Really, the work is helping someone get their feet on the ground, feel welcome, and start the day-to-day efforts of working, going to school, and connecting to community.
The Portland Refugee Support Group will help new refugees navigate living in a foreign country. Right now, they're running Camp Silla. That's Arabic for connection. It's for kids from all walks of life, giving them a chance to feel like they belong.
Here at Camp Silla, you see these children being children, and it takes a little time. It takes a little coaxing. It takes a little effort sometimes, but it's worth it.
Under usual circumstances, it is a 20-step process that can take years to gain refugee status. There's nothing usual about what's going on in Afghanistan right now. Many believe there's no better place for refugees than Oregon.
I envision a state where Oregonians are volunteering to see how they can help, and opening their homes if needed, and just really trying to step up and show the hospitality that I know we hold.
Art Edwards, KGW News.
In Tennessee, after 24 hours of catastrophic rainfall, at least 20 people are dead and dozens more are missing. Some parts of the state recorded more than a foot of rain in just a matter of hours, leaving vehicles on lawns and wedged sideways against trees.
Went and got one of my best friends. It's recovered him when he drowned in this, and it's sitting here thinking about that. Yeah, it's tough, but we're gonna move forward.
First responders are searching for more than 24 missing people, and they're getting help from the Tennessee National Guard and a Nashville helicopter team specializing in water rescues. On a positive note, though, this afternoon, residents in 4 counties can now use their cell phones again after flooding knocked out service. The calls and texts saying they're okay has helped lower the number of missing. I'm telling you, we keep just repeating the word unbelievable as we look at that video out of Tennessee. And Rod, that rain is also setting records.
Yeah, and I think, I can't verify this, but the eyeball test would make you assume this has to be one of the worst flooding events not connected directly to a tropical storm or hurricane moving inland. Just crazy. Look at this radar image. This was back on Saturday. And there's Waverly, Tennessee. And look at this size of this rain cell. Covers up half of the state. Waverly it's a town about 75 miles outside of Nashville to the west. And it was one of those towns hit particularly hard, with reports of buildings being washed off of their foundations, other buildings simply collapsing on their foundations, and people losing their lives. There's a town called McEwen, Tennessee, which is smaller, that reported just over 17 inches of rain in the 24-hour period, and it's believed that likely is the most rainfall ever in the state of Tennessee in a 24-hour period. Really hard to imagine. Here's a look at the weather pattern that is not producing that type of flooding, but it does show you kind of what the setup was. So right here now, where it's dry over Tennessee and Kentucky, there's a big upper level high. This high over the weekend was back here in Texas, and it did pull these thunderstorm cells. There's one north of St. Louis right now into Tennessee on that particular day back on Saturday. And the storm just kept developing over the same spots over and over again. So now moving up into New England, New York City has seen, I think, the worst of the rain from what's left of Tropical Depression Henri. You can see this storm now producing some heavy rain bands up into Boston. Here at home, we're pretty quiet. Partly cloudy skies over downtown Portland. Currently, we're at 64. Should be a nice afternoon with a high of 75. Record lows this morning, Brenda. Yeah, we'll talk about that coming up.
Oh, interesting. All right. Thank you, Rod.